Quickly, what do you attribute this defections, this number of defections to?
Well, like I said before, it's actually expected. The reason being that we cannot build something on nothing. Everything you see is a pervasive indication of a flawed political system. A system that is devoid of internal democracy, devoid of ideology, characterized by this violent and selfish grab for power, for glory, and for riches, other than good, order, and justice. So that is the reason why you see what is happening. What is happening today in the system. Every political context throws up, a form of intra-party conflict. But what is important is how you manage it. And, when people feel that justice has not been served, when membership of a political process or a political party is not driven by ideology, you see what you are seeing today. And unfortunately, it's going to last for a very long time. The reason being that the same people we expect to applaud this ugly, experience, this ugly system of defection, are the biggest beneficiaries. And so they cannot shoot themselves at the leg. So it's something that we are going to be dealing with in a very long while. And unfortunately, that is where we find ourselves.
Indeed, unfortunate. I wanted to speak on the case in Ebonyi State. We understand that the governor there, that's David Umahi, his deputy, Kelechi Igwe, and 15 lawmakers who defected from the PDP to the APC were sacked by the court. The court insists that the mandates that they have belongs to the party and not the candidates. So I want to ask if you see that ruling being applied to this recent wave of defections.
I didn't really quite get you clearly, but I guess you are referring to the situation in the Ebonyi State. You see, the constitution of the country is quite clear on defection for members of the legislature. It is very clear on that. But when it comes to members of the executive, it is quite unclear. As a matter of fact, there was no specific provision to take care of that as it concerns members of the executive. If you recall, last time when the PDP approached the court, over defection of three of their governors, the court was very expressive. They were quite clear on the defection as it concerns the members of the executive. So I don't see much happening, in the Ebonyi State, because that would be going against the provisions of the law of the land.
How do you see this affecting the dynamics of the upcoming polls?
Like I've always been saying, 2023 election is going to throw up a lot of interesting experiences. It's going to change a lot of dynamics. The reason being that we have a new electoral process in place. And we're going to be testing, the variety, the efficacy of that law, with this 2023 election. And I see a situation where votes are going to count for the very first time, or going to count more than it has counted in the past. So it's going to throw up a lot of surprises, and I'm sure politicians understand this, and that's why what is happening now is actually happening. That people are going to be voting more for individuals and not political parties this time around. And so when people think, that when people so much depend on their popularity and think their popularity can give them what they want, they won't. They will want to defect. Because people are not going to vote for the political parties, they're going to vote for individuals. And this time around, of course, part of the provisions of the new electoral act is that results are going to be transmitted right from the polling units. So it's going to throw up a lot of surprises, and we are watching and seeing how it's going to play out.
All right. Now that we have you here, let me quickly get your thoughts on the vice presidential slot. There's been some controversy around it. We've heard of new phrases like a holding position and all of that, particularly for the APC and the Labour Party. What do you foresee happening in the coming days? What do you foresee coming in the coming days, basically?
Well, INEC has made it clear. I didn't get that quite well, but from what I can.
Okay, let me repeat it so you can actually get the question. I'm asking about the vice presidential slot. There's been some issues around that, particularly for the APC and the Labour Party. I'm asking what you expect to see in the coming days as regards filling those slots.
Yes, I think INEC has made it very clear that there's no provision for placeholder. I mean, in presidential, in any position at all. So, people who are first of all, I feel what APC and Labour Party has demonstrated is a clear indication of a political party that is actually not ready for me, in my opinion, because you understand you want this and you're going to go into this, so you should be ready from day one. However, I want to believe they are buying more time, in order to get it right. I mean, in order not to make, miscalculate in their estimations and all that. So whatever they are going to bring is for them. I don't know how that's going to work for them. I don't know whether it's going to work in favor of Nigerians or the political parties. But INEC has made it very clear, that there is no place or placeholder. There is no, provision for placeholder. And so I will see how it's going to play out, if that's going to, if they're going to shut the door, as it is, or they're still going to welcome them whenever they decide to come with their vice presidential slot.
We're most likely to circle back to you for your thoughts when those names finally come out. Thank you very much, Mr. Chrys Anyanwu, the Executive Director, Global Advocacy for Africa Affairs, for speaking with us.
You're welcome. Thank you very much.